I want to cover a number of the key types of retirement plans in kind of general categories. There are many, many details about each of them which are way beyond the scope of this discussion. But in terms of the main categories of plans, you have a defined benefit plan and you have a defined contribution plan. The most common nowadays that companies adopt is a 401k plan, which is a type of defined contribution plan. In a 401k plan, the employee is given the option of reducing his or her salary and having the company take the amount of the reduction and putting it in the plan as a savings. A lot of times the company matches that, and the company gets a tax deduction for everything it puts in the plan. So if let's say the employee was earning $75,000 a year, he decides to put $10,000 into the plan, he's taxed on $65,000, but the company gets a deduction for the full $75,000 because the company paid the executive the employee $65,000 and put $10,000 into the plan. Now, what sets apart defined contribution plans is they have separate accounts. So each employee has his or her own account in the plan, and there's no guarantee of how much pension will be available when the employee retires. Rather, whatever is in the account at that time is what the employee gets. So a lot of times also the employee gets the ability to invest the monies in different funds or stocks or what have you as he or she sees fit. In many occasions the company gives choices and the employee selects among those choices. But at the end of the day, it's however that account performs that will determine how much the employee gets when the employee retires. The opposite of that is a defined benefit plan. In a defined benefit plan, there's a promise. It says that when an employee reaches a certain age, let's say 65, the employee is going to get 40% of his or her average pay for let's say the final 3 years of their employment. And so it's much more like a traditional pension, much less risk to the employee, much more risk to the company, because if the company puts money into this plan, even though the company gets a tax deduction, still the assets grow based on how the company decides to invest the funds. And that means that if the company makes poor investment decisions, the company is going to have to put in more money to make sure that when the employee and all the other employees turn 65, that there's going to be enough in there to pay them their 40%. Just like 401k plans are a specific type of defined contribution plan, cash balance plans are a specific type of defined benefit plan. And what it attempts to do is to have a hybrid situation where there are accounts, but it's still based on a defined benefit promise. And so it's a hybrid of the two and has become a very popular type of plan out there. And one final plan that I want to talk about is something called an ESOP. Now, in many countries, an ESOP means a stock option plan. But in the United States, an ESOP means an employee stock ownership plan. And that is a plan which is designed to invest in company stock. But it's a fantastic program whereby the owner of a company, founder of a company, can be bought out by this plan. And then as long as the owner invests in other stocks and bonds within a year, there's no tax on the sale. So if I'm an owner of a company, I can sell my company tax-free. And then over time, the shares that I sold, I sell it to the ESOP. And over time, those shares get allocated to accounts of employees. So after, say, 10 years or so, 15 years, the employees end up owning what the owner used to have. And so it's a wonderful way, to give ownership to employees and to give a benefit to the founder or other shareholders by letting them sell their company tax-free. And it's always should be considered when you're selling a company and you're thinking of hiring an investment banker to let you decide what's best, always consider an ESOP, because that can be a tremendous benefit. It's one of the best kept secrets that's available to people who have companies in the United States to benefit from the tax laws.